Hey everyone, my name is Cody Coggin and I'm an amateur enduro racer and freerider. If you haven't seen one of my videos yet, this is the 30 project. This is actually the third video, and the 30 project is my series to kind of celebrate turning 30. In a couple more days, I'm gonna be racing the US Open, which is September 15th through the 18th, and that marks my 29th birthday weekend. So super excited. And so to start this new chapter of life and kind of being prepared going into 30, I decided I want to race my first downhill race. Is that the full premise of this whole series? No, but it's what's really going to kick off this new exciting chapter of life. So today what we're going to do is review one of my race videos from the Windrock Enduro that started off my training block. I started off with an Enduro to start off my 6-week prep for this race, because I think it's a great way to learn a lot about you as a racer. So let's give it a watch real quick.
Ready?
Yep, well, that's it.
Love you.
Cool.
Cool, man.
Thank you. All right, now that we're back from the video, I want to talk about things that I learned about myself during that race, and some things that maybe you can take as a viewer, especially if you're wanting to enduro race or you're trying to improve at your enduro racecraft. Really the big thing is I pre-rode way too much for this race. Windrock, even though it's my local bike park and I ride there a good bit, I don't ride all the trails, and some of the trails aren't in season. And for Windrock locals, you know that some trails go in and out of season of how much people are riding the trail. So my tendency is, hey, let's ride it, let's pre-ride it, let's keep on pre-riding until I feel perfect. I'm a perfectionist at heart. But the problem with that and the risk is that by the time I got to race day, I was smoked. I was fully gassed. My legs felt like concrete. And I was mentally challenged at that point where I couldn't even focus on the trail in front of me. So I made a lot of mistakes, and this is just stage one that you're watching. I made mistakes in every single one of my stages. So that's my first tip. Don't override, don't pre-ride too much. And then I just mentioned overriding. That's another thing. In this video, I'm trying to push past my limits. And this is something that I can think every racer can relate to, is when you get into that race environment, sometimes that pushes you outside your comfort zone. You might only ride most of your rides around that 80 to 90% of your top speed, because riding above that can be sketchy at times. You can increase your likelihood of getting injured. But when you're trying to push over 90, 95%, close to that 100 mark or even above, that's when mistakes happen. So really what I was trying to focus on going into the US Open is try to replicate some of that race speed and that race intensity. We'll talk a little bit more about kind of if I was successful in that as I go into kind of my prep before the US Open. But that's one of my pieces of advice. Don't override your speed and practice the speed that you want to race at. And so those are really my main two tips. Overall, the weekend was a little bit frustrating for me at the Windrock Enduro. I had a ton of fun and I met a lot of cool people, and that's ultimately what racing is all about. Even if a race doesn't go well, that's okay. We're just here to have fun about it. So US Open, let's talk about it. We are 1 week out. I just wanted to capture and document how I feel right now before going into the race. We'll have a whole series of videos going through the downhill pre-walk practice stages for the enduro downhill practice, and then if I can capture the race runs, we'll have some videos about that. But how do I feel right now? Well, a little jittery, a little nervous. I've never raced a downhill before. It's a lot different than enduro. It's a little more high speed, but I'm really hoping that perfectionist attitude translates well to downhill. But life has been super busy. I started off the training block with that Windrock Enduro, and that's a great way to start a block. And I had a great first few weeks of training, but unfortunately life does get in the way as an amateur, and that's part of it. And it doesn't get in the way, just you got to balance life and also your racing. And so even though I don't feel as prepared as I want to going into the race, I'm just going to try to have the most fun about it, because that's what this series is all about, is trying to make it very positive, look at all the aspects of what makes a great weekend and makes riding so much fun and why we all love it. So yeah, looking forward to talking to you all in the next video. Hopefully I have good news about how the race went, and if not, I'm going to have tons of memories to share and a ton of footage. So I'll see you on the next one. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share, all those fun YouTube things, and I'll see you all later.